Are we ready? Are we live? Okay. Hello and welcome to this very fun episode of Cooking with Friends. Tonight we are talking all about sunshine and we are cooking with kids. So it should be a really exciting episode. We are going to start out with a beet and citrus salad, and then Hazel is going to be making spring rolls, and then we're going to finish up with some yummy, healthy cookie bars. So it should be a really wonderful evening, and with that, Michelle, come on up. If you want to pick people, I'll help them get cleaned up.
All right, like she said, I'm going to be doing a beet and carrot salad. It's pretty yummy. I've been making this for quite a few years. It's one of our favorite at home. And I can use, let's see, I know, Christian, you're going to be helping me. I can have one more helper if anybody else, any other kid wants to come up to help, you can. Don't feel pressured. So, Christian, if you want to come on up. And we'll get right into making our salad. So this salad is very, very simple to make. And if you want to put on your, I've got extra gloves right here. You can grab those.
She told me there were any gloves.
Yeah. Yep. So, I mean, it's a very simple salad. You shred your beets and your carrots. So I already have them in here. And really, it's like half beets, half carrots. So 2 beets, 2 carrots, about the same amount. In here, I've kind of doubled the recipe, so it's a little bit more than what your recipe will make. And you can peel the skin on the carrots if you want. I don't. I'm a lazy cook. So I scrub the carrots and I scrub the beets and make sure all the dirt and stuff is off of it. And then I just run it through the food processor to get it nice and shredded up. I'm lazy. But if you notice that your carrots are kind of have that slightly bitter taste to it, you may want to peel the skin off of it. But what I have found, if you get organic carrots, they tend to be sweeter. So I enjoy the organic carrots. So starting right off, I have that in the bowl, and then we're going to add some raisins. Now, you can either soak your raisins with some boiling water to soften them up. I don't tend to do that because, again, I'm a lazy cook. And so I like the chewiness of the raisins. And so, Christian, if you want to measure out 3/4 cups, you know what? The recipes, you can go up or down. I'm lazy. I don't have a 3/4 cup. So guess what? We're going to go ahead and put in a whole cup of raisins into that bowl. So measure that out. I mean, I kind of look at recipes, and sometimes I get in trouble. I kind of look at recipes as guidelines. And I tend to just throw it in and eyeball it. But we're going to try to follow the recipe here. So we've got our 3/4 cups or a whole cup of raisins. And then we're going to add in some sunflower seeds. I have raw sunflower seeds here. And we're just going to add in a 1/4 cup of sunflower seeds. And then I love raw pumpkin seeds or pepitos. So I put in a 1/4 cup of those as well. And then we can just give it a nice stir and mix that up pretty good. Sometimes you can just go in with your hands and mix it up. I'm lazy. Just get in there with your hands and mix it up. Show it some love. That's right. Saves on the dishes. All right. And so that's all you're doing for the salad part. Now we need to make the dressing. And so what we're going to do, I'm going to move this over to the side, is we're going to make an orange and lemon juice dressing. So the first thing we have to do is, and now the recipe calls for 1/4 cup of freshly squeezed orange juice. You can use you can get a bottle of orange juice from the store. You can use that. You could do that with the lemon juice. if you use fresh ingredients, it just gives it a nice bright flavor to it. So when you can, do the fresh ingredients. And so what I have found for a fourth a cup of orange juice is like 1 navel orange. So it depends on how large the orange is. So we're going to go ahead and juice our oranges, and I've already got them. So just take it in there and squish it right on top. And I actually have more here because we're going to be doing more. Since we've doubled the salad, we're going to end up doing 2 whole oranges. And I cheated at home. I'm going to be honest. I have a juicer at home. So instead of doing it this way, I ran it through my juicer. So if you have a juicer or an electric one, well, that would be much easier than this. All right, looks good. We'll go ahead and try the other one. He's doing a really good job. He's making sure to get all that juice out of there.
I was practicing last night with limes, and we didn't have enough limes, so I had to get every single thing out. Or at least we didn't think we had enough. Then I found more.
So we're getting our lovely juice here. We have a little less than, well, it's about a 1/4 cup there. So if we do another one, we will have a 1/2 cup of orange juice. All right. And I don't know if y'all have ever, on y'all's, the pulp gets in there and it blocks up the juice. So I'm just moving the pulp to get the juice out. And then I'm doing another trick here. I just have a bowl of water. I'm just rinsing this thing out, and that'll help it. That's all that's for, so that we can go ahead and do the other orange. So let's do one more orange. It doesn't matter, choose whichever one. And while he's doing that, I actually want to talk about, this is what it will look like. Now, I have 2 different types. The recipe you have is with the chia seeds, so that's the chias. And the chia, as it is in the liquid, it will get kind of gelatinous and it helps to thicken it up. You don't have to use the chia seeds, but the original recipe called for oil, and I'm trying to avoid having free oils in the diets because all oils can be very inflammatory. So if you have heart conditions, high blood pressure, it's a really good idea to get the free oils out of the diet. So the question is like, well, we need fat in the diet. Well, that's true, but you don't need it in the form of free oil. Eat your avocado instead of the avocado oil. Eat your walnuts instead of walnut oils or sunflower seeds, and you can get your fat that way. There is no need for free oils. So anyways, I changed the recipe to get the oil out of my diet. So I've got chia seeds in this one. Now this one, instead of using chia seeds, I used, this is called Easy Gel. This is like a cornstarch. In this particular one, it's a non-GMO, gluten-free cornstarch, and it's like an instant gel. So you put it in your liquid, you mix it up, and let it set for 5 minutes. It will thicken up. It makes it good. So if you're looking for an alternative to thicken up your salad dressings, Easy Gel is a good one. If you don't like using that, here's another one called Xantham Gum. And you can find this at Kroger's. You can find it in the gluten-free baking aisle. And you would just use a small amount, 1/8 of a teaspoon or 1/4 teaspoon. Not very much for Xantham Gum, but same thing. Add it in, and it will help thicken up your salad dressing. Yeah, that looks great. And then another one is this Konjac, and I don't know if I'm pronouncing it right. But this also does really well with thickening up. However, with this one, you do need to heat up your liquids in order to activate that gelling quality. So there's lots of different things you can do to help make, thicken up your salad dressing. Yes?
Do they have flavors?
No, there's no flavors to them at all that I've noticed. And so the question was, do any of these have a flavor to it? And I have not noticed a flavor to it. So,
when it comes to the Konjac, you're saying you have to heat it up. Is that what they say on there? Because I use that myself, and it thickens up even without it. It takes
yeah.
a longer time. Because I do all my dressings that way. I will thicken up a little bit of that, and shake it, shake it, shake it, let it sit there. And it will.
Yeah, so in the instructions for most of what
Well, I
I've
sometimes don't follow
done is
instructions.
it's the same thing with agar-agar. That's also another one that typically to activate the gelling quality, you will want to heat the liquid up to a boiling point. So agar-agar, konjac, it actually, when you look up, that's what it tells you to do is to heat it up. Because I'm doing a salad dressing and I want it nice and fresh, I'm avoiding this. I don't want to heat up my liquid, so I don't want to use this or agar-agar. So, but I just wanted to kind of share with you some things that you can use to help thicken up your salad dressing. All right, so we have our orange juice, and we're just going to go ahead and pour it right into this bowl here. Yep, you just twist it off. I'll let you pour it in. You notice I didn't measure it? Telling you, eyeballing it here. All right, so we're going to add in our lemon juice. And again, you can use bottled lemon juice or you can use a fresh lemon juice. So I have my nice little juice here. Oh, it's got a little bit of a pulp in there. So it's all good. All right, now for the lemons. Now, you'll notice that I've cut both ends off. This is just my preference. You know, you could cut your lemon in half and put it in upside down, and then you go to do it, and then juice squirts everywhere. I hate that. So what I found for me is I cut both ends off, and then I can juice it, and it will come right out the bottom and not squirt everywhere. So that's just my own tip. I'm funny. I do things weird. So I'm going to get you to squeeze it right into here. And another trick that I do is, well, there's still some juice in here. You're missing out on some lovely juice. So I take the ends and just put it right on top, and I juice it again. And then that way you get all the juice and not so much mess. So anyways, I'll get you to go ahead and do this other lemon. You don't have to do it that way. You can do it the way you're supposed to if you'd like, or you can be funny like me and just do it that way. All right, so we have our orange juice, we have our lemons, and typically when I do this recipe, I do 2 oranges and 1 lemon. That's how the ratio that I typically do. So we're going to add in some honey. Now I get honey by the gallon, and then it takes a while for me to go through honey, so then it starts setting up. So you'll notice my honey is nice and thick. It's starting to crystallize. It's still good. It's still good. So what we're going to do is we're going to put in 2 tablespoons of honey into this. Yep, you can use that measuring cup right there. And then we can use our spoon to help scoop that honey out. There we go. It's nice and messy. Now, if I were to be, using oil, I would tell you, measure your oil first into your measuring spoon, and then put your honey in because it'll slide right out. But I'm not using oil, so, we're just going to work with our mess here. Alrighty, and now we're going to add in a half a teaspoon of salt. If you are trying to limit your salt intake, you can definitely reduce it. I find that you would need just a little bit of salt that helps bring out the flavor. So I tend to go with a half a teaspoon. Made it nice and easy for you to grab, right? It doesn't have to be exact. If it's a little bit less than half a teaspoon, we're still good. We're still good. The other thing is, just dump it right in. If you mix it all in a jar, you just throw it in, put the lid on and shake it, and then you're good to go. And, we're doing a bowl tonight. And then we're going to add in 2 tablespoons of chia seeds. And I actually have a tablespoon measure in here. So I'll let you grab 2 tablespoons of that. And then there we go. And we can just take our whisk and whisk it up. And our salad dressing is ready to go, so I'll let you stir that up. See, pretty simple. The salad dressing comes together pretty quick. Again, if you put it in a jar with a lid, it's even better. So the salad dressing, the salad usually keeps about 3 or 4 days, I've noticed. I mean, we tend to eat it by then, so I haven't kept it much beyond 3 or 4 days. So that's a good rule of thumb. And with this, the main thing that is that you want to really mix it up good is the honey. It's kind of hard to get that honey dissolved in there, so just give it a good whisk. And then you can let the salad dressing sit for about 5 minutes or so, and as it sits, it will, thicken up. It's not really necessary to be completely thick, even though, I mean, it's still pretty liquid in here. I'm not looking for a very thick salad dressing. And then after the salad dressing is made, I'll let you use this one. You can just pour it right over our salad that we have over there. That looks great. And you mix it up and let it set. I find that the salad tastes better, like if you were to make the salad earlier in the day and then enjoy it that evening. You don't have to wait for it, but the flavors do improve if you just let it sit for an hour or so. So let me grab a spoon for you. And then our salad is ready to go. A very simple, refreshing salad, and I enjoy the flavor of beets, so hopefully you will enjoy this salad as well. And that is it. That is just that easy. Any questions about how to do the beet salad? All right. Thank you so much, Christian. You've done an awesome job. Good job. And the salad that I made in the back, we used a chia seed salad dressing because some people can't have the corn, and so we did not use that. But I just wanted to show it to you. So you can do that option at home, but our salad is not going to have that. And I believe we are ready for our next presentation. Is it Miss Hazel? All right. So Hazel's going to come up and share with us.
Michelle, you might want to share with us a little bit what it's like to have your family participating, or children or other people participating in our Cooking with Friends while you're doing, if you get a break. I think it's important for our family to share.
So, ooh, that one's nice and loud. Woo! I can hold it way back here. I can project my voice fairly well, and yeah, I need to back it off there. So your question was to share what it's like to have your family participate. Yeah, well, so I had 3 kids, and they're all grown. And growing up, I did mostly vegetarian cooking, and I had them come into the kitchen and help me a lot with cooking. And my daughter, who's going to be getting married soon, she's like, I need you to write down all these recipes because I want to cook these nice, healthy recipes. So I think it's really important to get your kids in. And if you have picky kids who are like, oh, I don't want to eat this, if you get them into the kitchen to help prepare the foods, that will increase the likelihood that they'll actually eat the foods. It doesn't always work, but that's a good way to help get our kids to eat all these fresh foods. And so anyways.
Okay, so my name's Hazel. I'm going to be sharing with you how to make spring rolls. Now we're going to start with our sauce. It's going to be a peanut sauce. If you have any questions, just ask them. So here I have 1 tablespoon fresh ginger. Now this is grated ginger that I'm going to be adding into our bowl. And
cloves of garlic. Now I'm going to add 1 cup water and 1/2 cup peanut butter.
For you, Hazel.
Hazel, does it matter if you use crunchy or smooth with this recipe?
No, it doesn't, because we're going to have a lot of crunch in your spring roll already.
Thank you.
But right now I'm using creamy, just because I have it. Yes, I love helping my mom, where I learned to cook. I'm just going to stir this together. It might be hard to stir together, but you're going to try and get it to combine as best you can. Next, I'm going to add 1 teaspoon Thai red curry paste. Now I'm going to add 2 tablespoons fresh lemon juice. And coconut aminos. I actually have liquid aminos right now, but both work. And maple syrup. Maple syrup sounds like a weird ingredient to add into a savory dish, but tastes really good. And that's most recipes have some sweet. I don't know. And then you can add salt to your taste. That's it for the sauce. Is there any questions?
What are the aminos?
Well, the recipe says coconut aminos. That's sort of like soy sauce. You can probably get it, I don't know, at Walmart. There's seen it at Walmart. Yeah, so something like liquid aminos or soy sauce. Yeah.
Answer is gluten-free soy sauce. That is soy-free.
assistant, Daddy. Daddy, do you have gloves? Okay, so now we're going to be putting together our spring rolls. There. So what we're going to be adding into our spring rolls is we're going to be adding red cabbage. Which you could use green cabbage, but we're using. Oh yeah. Well, our wrappers are rice wrappers. You're gonna put them in the warm water, just for a little while, and then we're going to our ingredients.
Walmart.
Yeah. And for our cabbage, we're using red cabbage. You could use green cabbage, but adding red cabbage because that's much more colorful and just interesting. And then for carrots, carrots have.
We're gonna wrap one up.
You just put your
So what do we put in here? Put in cabbage.
cabbage and carrots and lettuce.
Cucumbers. You want me to talk?
Yes. Not you to
Alright,
talk.
Well, we're going to be putting these things together. So the trick to putting these things together is keeping it nice and neat and tidy right in the middle of the thing. Because, you know, if you've ever built a burrito, you can really blow things out of proportion quick. Just to keep it all nice and tidy here. And then what do we have here?
Mint and like spicy pepper and cilantro and onions, scallions. Or
The good thing is when you make them at home, you don't have to wear gloves. So we make these nice, tidy little packages. Where do we have a plate?
I
We
don't
don't
know.
have
You
a
just
plate.
put them on the board.
There it is.
So it looks like what you're doing, you could pretty much put anything in there, can't you?
Yes.
As far as veggies and
So
everything.
you're going to talk about the veggies?
You can put anything really, but carrots have beta carotene, fiber, vitamin K1, a lot of things.
So we've had a lot of really delicious meals here, and we've really enjoyed. You know, we've had the tacos with the beef replacement. We've had the cheesecake that with no cheese in it, and today we're really just highlighting the delicious vegetables. We're not replacing anything here. We're just eating the vegetables the way God intended it, and we're adding a lot of color, a lot of texture, a lot of flavor. And you might think, well, that doesn't look very flavorful, but you didn't taste that peanut sauce yet. And we add some onions and some mint and some cilantro and a little bit of jalapeno. And this thing's hopping with texture, with flavor, with moisture, and we think you're going to enjoy these things.
So, Mark, we had this discussion earlier, and I have wrapped these things before. There is a technique to wrapping these, and it is similar to burritos. Can you describe what you are doing? Because not everybody knows how to wrap a burrito either.
Okay, so you know, we want it to not explode. So if you happen to have a wrapper with a hole in the middle or something, you know, then that's no good to you. But most of them come pretty good. You just wet the thing down, and while it's sitting on the board there, it's softening the whole time. By the time you get to the point where you need to wrap it up, it's going to be ready to bend. It's pretty simple, but don't get over your skis, you know. If your eyes are bigger than your stomach, you're going to have some trouble. The idea is not to make a meal in each one. It's just a little taste in each one. You want to have a little balance there. And wrap it over the end and each end. And
So is that white product you're adding to it, is that tofu?
yes, it is.
Okay.
Hey, Mark, I'm just going to ask something. I know you're a family of 4, and this is a great meal for a family of 4, but there's some people that are, living alone. And do you think this works well for like a single person cooking?
I think it works fabulously for a single person living alone, because these things keep really well. You can open a pack and maybe put it in a Ziploc bag or something, and then you can just slice up a few things for yourself. I know in my family, so tonight, just for the ease of serving a crowd, we made them on plates, and we're going to be putting 2 on each. We have 2 on each plate. We'll bring it out, and they're sitting back there. We didn't want to pile them up on a tray because they would end up ripping each other as you grab them, and it just would get overwhelming. But what we do at home is we just put out the tray of vegetables. First of all, when you look at a tray of vegetables and all that color, it's beautiful. You put it on the table, and then we put the bowl for dipping, and everyone wraps their own at the table at home. That's the way we do it. And it's quite simple, and everyone has fun with it, and a lot of blowouts happen, but
So something else, when we make it at home for dinner, when we have leftovers, we will never, I don't know how you've tried wrapping them, but I don't think they save very well leftover. So when we have leftovers, I will make it for lunch the next day for myself, and I just keep the vegetables in like a Tupperware kind of dish. And the next day, I'll just wet my rice paper roll wrapper and then build a new one fresh the next day. So, you can have your veggies all prepared, and it's a really nice lunch. You just want to use the rice paper last minute right before you eat it.
Yeah.
And did you find it saves when you build them? Do they save for you?
Well, that's a great tip, and that's the reason we didn't want to build them ahead of time. So we just built them right before the meeting here tonight, and and that's why they're separated from each other. They're on plates. We didn't want anybody tossing as they're pulling them off the tray. So it's because the paper continues to, especially you have moisture in the vegetables. Cucumbers are 95% water. They continue to wet the rice paper, and things will just degrade if you don't eat them right away. But of course, if you have leftovers, you might just make a giant salad out of all that. Maybe cut things up a little finer. But when I cut things too, I try to cut things about the size that I'll need them for the spring roll. So julienne carrots here, but the length that I would lay them in the spring roll, everything is kind of cut for that purpose. Even when I cut the onions, the green onions, I cut them at the lengthwise and cut them down so that they would fit in here nicely. And it's all about trying to make it nice and neat and tidy. And then at home, also, we like to put our peanut butter sauce inside our spring rolls. But because of, for moisture and for personal taste, we're allowing you to just dip it or put it on top as you're served tonight. But look here, even because I got slowed down talking, this one's getting a little limp and harder to roll together, so it's going to work out, though. Not to worry. Okay. Well, shall we, do you have anything else to talk about?
Nope.
All right. Thank you.
Okay, I think I have this mic so that everyone can be heard. Let me do a sound check. Matthias, will you tell us a little bit about yourself and what your favorite food is to eat that is healthy?
I don't have anything.
Talk into the mic. I just want to make sure.
I don't have anything that is my favorite food.
Don't you like broccoli?
Yes.
Okay, that's good. And Mela, can you tell us something that you like to eat that's healthy?
I like peas.
You like peas? All right, and Miss Seraphine, what is something that you like to cook that is healthy?
Broccoli, cauliflower, and peas.
You're gonna have to talk louder. Say it one more time, real loud for the camera.
I want 3 things.
Okay, you got 3 things. Go for it.
Broccoli, cauliflower, and peas.
All right.
Peas.
Okay, here we go. Mayla, I don't know if these are going to work real well for you, sweetie. All right. So today we are going to make peanut butter cookie bars. These are a vegan, non-bake, so everything tonight is going to be raw, which is kind of fun, and something that we haven't really tried yet. So we are going to try to get this taken care of. When I'm cooking with kids, because their arms aren't very strong, even though it did not call for a stand mixer, we will be using a stand mixer tonight because it just makes things go a little easier and it's fun for them. So there may be times when it gets a little bit loud, but just sort of bear with us and we'll talk in between the noise. Okay, so Matthias, I'm going to have you do the first thing, okay? And it's going to be messy because I know you like messy.
I love messy.
You love messy. I know, you're my messy boy. So we're going to put these here. We are going to use a creamy peanut butter also. I suppose that you could use
Cauliflower?
No, I would not use cauliflower. That'd probably be really gross. I think that you probably could use crunchy, although I don't know if it would go as well. I think smooth would probably definitely be best in this recipe.
That's gluey.
It's not gooey, it's the oil. You have to mix the oil in.
Can I mix it?
So this isn't as oil-free as the other recipes have been tonight. We do have the natural oil that's in the peanut butter, and we also have a little bit of coconut oil that we will be melting in one of my favorite pots that I got just down here at the junk shop. Isn't this beautiful? At the little recycle place? Yeah, so this is my very favorite oil, butter, whatever melting pot. And so we're going to use that. So we do have a little bit.
Mama?
Almost.
Put in.
All right. So we need 1 cup and 2 tablespoons. So being a homeschool mom, this is how we do math. Because we feel like this is the easiest way to sort of incorporate math into our everyday and make it functional and practical. Okay, buddy, so I'm going to actually take this off and lay it here. And I'm going to have you, don't spill it. Ooh, we're spilling. Okay, pour it over. All right, you just hold that right there.
You're holding it. I got it.
Okay, you got it? Yeah, baby.
Can I put apple?
No, you cannot lick the spoon. You can lick the spoon at home, but we don't lick the spoon when we're cooking for other people. They don't like that for some reason. I don't know why. Okay, then we're also, and we're gonna need, no ma'am, don't lick that in front of people, please. Okay, then we're gonna use a tablespoon, and I want you to take this, can you take this and scoop that out? There you go. All right, that's good. And we're going to get 1 more tablespoon because it calls for 1 cup and 2 tablespoons. All right, now go ahead and scoop that out. All right, now we're going to let Seraphine step in, and she's going to do a part. Just put this right here, and we're going to try to control the mess. Okay, Seraphine, we need 1/2 cup of coconut oil.
What's coconut oil?
Coconut oil is the oil from the coconut.
Hey, is that the stuff that you put on my tooth?
Yeah.
My tooth was hurting when I lost it
Yeah, probably.
that night.
I use it for everything. Okay.
It's hard.
It is hard.
Let me try.
Can I get a spoon that fits better in this jar, please?
I will get you one.
Hold on, you stay here because you're clean. Someone's coming.
I will
Sorry, while we're talking, are there any questions? We haven't really done anything quite yet, so I didn't expect some.
Mama.
Hey, baby, those gloves are just not going to work. We really don't need gloves because you guys aren't touching food. So it's okay if you don't have gloves. They're not going to fit your
All
little
we're
hands.
doing is putting peanut butter in.
Right. Thank you. Okay, Seraphine, I'm going to let you do this. I want you to scoop out. We're going to do 1/2 cup in here. And I actually am going to pull this off.
How do you do that?
Well, because this is what we're going to use to level off the top of the cup to make sure we get a full cup. It is hard. I give you a hard job.
I wish I didn't have to do that job. So, let's hold it.
You need some help?
Yeah.
There you go. Ooh. All right, and then you can use this to sort of scrape that off. Let's see. Oops. This is too cold in here, apparently. This is struggling. Sorry, Seraphine. I'll get you a different job. Hang tight 2 seconds, okay? It does smell good. I think Jonah is setting up a camera.
So
Mela,
you're
leave
struggling with
alone.
that. Sarah, can you microwave that just a little bit?
Yes, we don't have a microwave at our house, but if you have a microwave, I'm sure you could. A lot of times our coconut oil that sits in the cabinet, because we have a wood stove, is pretty liquidish. Apparently our house stays warmer than most houses, but so we're going to get a half a cup here. Liquidish, isn't that a word? It is now. You like that word.
Can I dump
Okay.
it in?
Whoops. I'm going to dump it in my special
what
little
can
favorite
I
pot.
do?
You're next, May May. Well, actually, I'm going to let Seraphine do something.
Me
She
too?
didn't get to do this. Yeah, and then you'll go after that. Okay, so the next thing is, yes, we got a question.
Sarah, is this a recipe that you can use any nut butter of your choice with?
Sure,
Like whatever?
sure. This is a recipe that I actually stole from the Squires. They used it last week at a potluck we went to, and we were going to make mac and cheese, and it really bombed. So we were scrambling for a new recipe, and we decided that what kid of all ages doesn't like chocolate chip cookies, right? So this is a healthier version of that, and we think it's going to go over pretty
And
well.
we got healthy chocolate chips.
We did get healthy chocolate chips. That's right.
Kinda healthy.
Kind of healthy. That's right. They're
Hey,
dairy-free,
you keep
allergy-free.
copying me.
I'm just repeating what you're saying. I'm sorry. I'll stop. Okay, so we are going to do a half a cup now. So we've got the oil in that.
got it.
No, this is going to be Seraphine's job, okay? Seraphine, I need you to... Another question. Real quick, while you're working on pouring, I need a half a cup of this poured in there, and then we're going to do 1 tablespoon, and you can use that. Okay, question.
Would the peanut butter portion of this bar, would that, just that cookie layer, would that work by itself without the additional layer?
Oh, yeah, it's delicious also. Yeah. I mean, we usually at home, when we've mixed this, like we eat all the layers at any different point. So it's good. Okay, good. And then you can dump that in, and then we'll get you to do another tablespoon of that. And I'm going to...
What can I do?
You're next, baby girl. You are next. She's nice and easy. She's not going to spill a drop. She's got this. Dump it all in. Good job.
You spilled a drop. I spilled.
It's
mine
all
in a jar.
right.
I
Also
spilled
at the
mine in
house,
a
that's
jar.
the opportunity to lick that off the counter.
Can I lick it?
You know, all these really good hygienic things we're teaching the children. It's okay to eat off the floor, and you can lick things off the counter and lick the spoon, and then we're making again. But don't worry, when we come to potlucks, that's not how we do it.
Bye, dog.
I have
All right.
peanut butter in
So
it,
go ahead.
Mama.
It's okay if it has peanut butter. That has peanut butter in it too. So we're gonna pour that in.
More.
We're gonna pour that in and then just pour that up here. And I'm gonna give this a stir while you're doing that. You're doing really good, Seraphine.
Me too.
You're doing great, baby.
I'm almost
Absolutely.
getting a turn.
You're almost getting a turn. Be very patient. It's almost time. All right.
Hey, Mama.
Yes, baby. Okay. Good job, Seraphine. You did excellent.
Mama, what's the next step?
The next step is going to be to pour this hot oil into... Well, Mama's going to do this part, okay? I appreciate
I
your
will.
enthusiasm.
Okay.
Okay, Seraphine, watch your hands. So we're going to pour the hot oil into the beater also, the stand mixer. Okay, Mela, it is your turn. Let's do some vanilla.
Funny.
Apparently I should have opened all this packaging ahead of time. It's really loud on the microphone. I apologize for your ears.
Hey, Mama.
Hey, what?
It smells funny.
Like a clown? All right, let May get up here. All right, May. You're going to hold the spoon over the bowl, and Mama's going to pour it in, and you're going to count to 4 for everybody, okay? So we need 4 teaspoons.
One.
Okay, dump it in. Good.
2.
Good job.
3. One more.
Hold on.
There's one more, Mama.
Take the smoking pan. Thank you. Okay, how many was that?
4.
3. We need one more. Okay. So what's that one?
4.
Good job. Okay, now we need a half a teaspoon of salt. So we are going to take this, and Matthias, I think it's your turn again. Can you stand here and hold that? All right, I'm going to pour this in. Just hold it right over the bowl, nice and steady.
Smells like burned eggs.
Burned eggs? I hope not. That doesn't sound very appetizing in a vegan show. Okay, so that's just 1/2 teaspoon. Okay, so now what we're supposed to do is we're supposed to stir this together. So I need to put my blender together. I'm going to wipe off the peanut butter.
Can I wipe it off?
All right, everyone stand back because this is hot. I'm going to move this away from the cord. Okay, here we go. I'm going to turn this on. You guys were here, but the first week we were up here trying to make soup and we had some technical difficulties, so I thought we worked them all out. So it's really nice that all the electric stuff is working today. This is going very well. The hot pad worked like it was supposed to, and this is working, so all is going well.
Mama, your
Are
head.
there any questions? Okay.
Mama, your head chopped off.
My head's chopped off, that's okay. No one wants to see my head anyways. We're doing just fine. Okay, so now I am going to scrape the peanut butter extra in here. We have it all blended together. Now we're going to add 5 cups of...
You mean me?
Yes, you're going to do some 5 cups of almond flour, okay? Hang on. Okay. So, Matthias, don't lick it. Okay. You're going to do 5 cups, okay? So I need you to push that in and you're going to sort of pack it in. Now dump it in.
1, 5.
Tap it on the side. Now this little stick is going to come in handy because you're going to take it and we're going to sort of scrape out the edges and that's going to get the rest of the peanut butter out. Okay?
I want to do it.
Okay, you got it. Keep it in the bowl. Okay. All right, go ahead and do the next one. We'll keep going. Get a full cup. Not quite a full cup. A little bit more. Okay. All right.
Have you tried other flours?
I have not tried other flours or other nut flours, but it's okay. I don't think you have to. You don't have to do it in between each one.
I want to.
Okay, that's good. Good job. All right, how many is that? Who's keeping count for us?
2.
That's 2. Okay, we need 5 total, so keep going. All right, it's pretty good.
It sounds like a musical instrument.
It is a musical instrument, isn't it?
You mean a loud instrument?
Loud. It can
That
be
could
very loud.
wake you up when
Yeah.
you're sleeping a nap. Something like that. 3.
That's 3. All right, down in there. Fill it up. We're going to work on the next layer here in just a minute. This layer's almost done. Is that 4?
That's pretty clean.
Is that 4? It is pretty clean. All right, last one.
Maybe I had to do it to 4.
Ooh, too much. So just sort of wipe it off on the side. There you go. Exact science. Perfect. All right.
Hey,
Tap it
Sarah.
in. Yeah.
Same question that I asked Michelle. Working with your family and cooking with your do you see a difference in what they eat
Absolutely.
and
They
enjoy?
It takes more time and it's a little bit more of a mess, but they definitely have more interest in what they're eating. they want to be cooking with you. And I kind of feel like if we invest the time now, that they'll be more apt to want to do it later in life for themselves. And also, you. And also that if you take the time to teach them now, then they're willing to do it later. If you do everything for them, then they don't want to do it later, and that's a problem.
Mama,
Yeah.
are we doing the blender now?
We are. Okay, I'm gonna have you step back,
Yay.
and we're gonna raise this
No,
up.
this blender.
Oh,
This
no, not
blender.
that yet. Base
When
now
will we get to do it?
in just a minute.
Yay.
So we're gonna make this look really nice. Cookie dough sort of feeling, I don't think we have the ability to see, but that's all right. So here's what we're gonna do. All right, Seraphine, can you grab me the prepared pan that's over here?
Hey, my turn.
Well, just grab that pan, honey, that has the paper already in it.
Mama, can I let him?
No, you're not gonna lick the spoon yet, just hang on. For you guys. Just put it right here. Okay. I know, right? Who else wants to lick the spoon when I'm done, right? Okay.
Can I pour it in?
Well, Mama's going to pour it in, and then it's going to be Seraphine's turn.
Can you hold it and I want to push
All right,
it?
you blob it in, and then it's going to be Seraphine's turn to
That's
smooth it out. Oh, actually, we got to get the chocolate chips in. Hang on. Mama's missing a step.
Oh, no.
Hold on. All right, Seraphine, grab us the 1 cup measuring cup. Okay. Yeah. Is that the 1 cup? Hold on, stop. Okay. So we need 2 cups of vegan chocolate chips. And so these are allergen free. So they don't have milk or eggs or soy or fish, which would be really gross in a chocolate chip. They don't have shellfish either, which also would be pretty gross, I think, in a chocolate chip. We're going to do 2 cups of these. So it's Seraphine's turn. And Seraphine's going to pour 2 cups of chocolate chips in, and we may need a second bag because, you know.
It sounds like music.
Where did you get the chocolate chip?
Walmart. Where else do we shop in Rockbridge County? I mean, I don't know any other place. That's Walmart, right? It's Walmart or Amazon is pretty much the place that you get food.
They're right next to the regular chocolate
Yeah.
chips.
Stop if I
They just put them
smoke
on the
like
lower
can we
shelf,
do with them?
so
Stop.
you don't see them.
Yeah. I actually, we like them a
Mama,
lot better.
2.
Two full cups. Yep. And if you need more, let me know.
Let me know because I'll get it.
Okay, good. You are my number 1.
And I'll slice it open and eat them.
Okay.
Aw.
How you doing, sweetie? We're going to need a little bit more,
I got
I
it.
think. All right. Why don't you go get the other bag?
Can I add one?
Okay. Let's cut this. Hold on. May, this is not eating with friends. This is cooking with friends. You're going to have to be patient.
Then we'll do eating with friends because we'll eat all the food that we make.
That's right. So we need about a cup and a little bit more. Okay. So dump those in. Seraphine, are you feeling strong today?
I will.
Do you want to mix this up? Yeah? Matthias, it's her turn. Give her some space. Okay, go ahead and give that a good stir around. So they say you want to fold these in, so you're going to sort of just fold them in
Can I
and stir
hold it
them
for
around.
her?
Matthias, I need you to wait your turn. It's not a very strong spoon. How about this one? I brought lots of varieties because we just never know what we're going to need while we're up here. Is that better?
Yes.
Okay.
Wooden one.
I'll confess that when I made that recipe, I used the mixer for that option.
You use the mixer
Oh, yeah.
for this option too? Okay. Well, you want to try that? You want to put the mixing blade back in? Okay.
Oh, what's this?
That's not ours. That's something different. May. All right. Here. You already did it. Finish the job. Just keep it out of the mix. Okay. So cooking with kids is always cooking challenges. It is a cooking adventure.
And licking.
And licking, that's right. All right, so we're gonna whip out. There we go. Mark gave us permission to use this, so we're gonna blend them all in there together. Okay. Here's what we're gonna do. So now the red spatula, we're gonna be nice. The red spatula is going to be the better option, okay, for this because it's gonna smooth things out. So I'm gonna bring this back over here. Matthias, it's Seraphine's turn. Okay. All right, so we dump that in, and it's sort of crumbly.
I see all the chocolate chips.
I know, doesn't that look delicious?
It was so funny.
All right, let me see if I can put this in front of a camera so we can see what it looks like. Where's our camera? So here is the start. There we go. The start of our base. Okay, it's sort of like when you're curling your hair in the mirror and your hands going all the wrong direction. Okay, so what I want you to do, sweetie, is just sort of pack that down, and we're going to make, Matthias, just a second, please. We're going to make a nice smooth layer, okay? Yes.
Why do we need water?
We don't. That was for them, and this is for Michelle, and we're working over here. So while she is working on smoothing that down, and then that's supposed to go in the refrigerator. So Seraphine, when you feel like you've got that all packed down and it's perfect, I want you to run that to the freezer for. Yeah. Well, both. You're going to pack it down and you're going to smooth it out. Matthias, we are going to have you come over here. And actually, it's Mayla's turn, isn't it? May, come here, baby. So, in the bars that we have that we're going to eat tonight, because these won't be ready, they have to sit in the refrigerator. They are made with pecans because I know some people are allergic to walnuts. But the recipe actually calls for walnuts. I think you can. No, you can't because Mayla ate it. So I think you can really use any nut in this top that you would prefer, but we are going to use walnuts because that's what it called for. Okay, May, would you please not lick it anymore? Okay. Okay, dump that in here. All right, we need 3. How many is that? 1. All right, what's this?
2.
2. All right.
1 more.
1 more. There you go, baby girl. Dump that in. Good job. Okay. Now we need 4 tablespoons of cocoa. So Matthias, I'm going to get you to do that. Hang tight just a second. I've got to clean this out just a little bit because it's still got a bunch of peanut butter in it. Okay. All right. Why don't you stand? Why don't you take the chocolate chips and go to Papa? Go eat your chocolate chips. All right, Matthias, come here. No, you can't eat any unless you want to stop cooking. Okay, dump that in. We need 4 tablespoons of cocoa powder.
1.
Yeah, go ahead and get 4 of those out. We need a half a teaspoon.
2.
Good. It's good. Okay, why don't you run that to the kitchen and have them put it in the freezer and then come back and you can help finish this up.
3.
So this calls for a half a teaspoon. You leave that here, honey. Because we're going to use that to put on the topping.
4.
And we'll need that in just a minute to put the topping on, but for the sake of whatever, we'll do this. Okay, is that 4?
Yep.
Okay. So in the food processor now, we've got 3 cups of walnuts. We've got 4 tablespoons of cocoa powder, and we have a half teaspoon of salt. And we are going to turn this on. Nope.
Can I turn it on?
No, you can. We're going to try to turn it on. We're going to try to turn it on again.
There's a cord going up.
Looks like the yellow cord is struggling. Just switch it. Just plug it into this one because it was working. Only if you don't mind. That's hot though. Be careful. Okay. Thank you, Sean. We actually have gotten that from Azure Standard, just sort of a bulk one-stop shop, and you can get it from there. And we've refilled this container. So this is not the exact product, but it is an organic cocoa, so it works out well. Okay, so you're going to pulse this until the nuts are well chopped. Good. Then we're going to add the dates. Now these dates have been soaking in warm water.
Can I put them in?
No, sure. Yep. Here's my big spoon. Okay, we're going to put the bowl on the table. Okay, and you don't want the water, so we're just going to take the dates, and Mama's going to help you just a little bit, okay? And we're going to put these in.
Wait.
Don't get the water in, okay? And if you want, why don't you do some, and then why don't you let Seraphine do some, okay? She likes to eat the chocolate chips best. Okay, that's good. Now why don't you let Seraphine have a turn?
Seraphine has more than me.
Sarah, besides taste, does the dates do anything?
The dates are going to sort of act like a caramelly. I think dates work really well as a caramel replacement. The other cool thing about dates is they don't react to your body the same way that sugar does. So they're not going to cause the glycemic jump like a lot of sugars will. But they have a lot of minerals, and they are very sweet.
My
so
turn.
it's sort of a healthier option for sugar.
My turn.
Okay,
Why
so-
did Hazel's mom put the dates in?
No. Well, yes, they used dates last weekend. Yes, they sure did.
Okay. Because I just wanted to know that you were following it.
Of course I'm following it. He acts like I improvise or something. I always follow the recipe, which is why nothing ever tastes the same. All right. Okay. For the sake of time, Mama's going to finish this up, okay? You guys are doing a great job, though. Okay. Now, it calls for 4 tablespoons of water if the blade starts getting stuck. I'm just going to go ahead and use this date water because I know that the blade will get stuck. So we're just going to take that out of the mix, and we're going to put our lid back on, and we're going to turn it. We're going to be ready for that base to come back out. I know I just sent it away, which was probably silly, but theoretically it goes in the refrigerator or the freezer for 30 minutes. I think they're bringing it. Theoretically, it goes in the freezer for 30 minutes to sort of set up, and then you bring it out and you put the topping on. So, Sandy said you do a little twist and a little dance and this pops right out.
Is it my turn?
No.
Whose turn is
White
it?
handle?
I don't want my gloves. Mama, I don't want my gloves. Mama, can I have a couple of toys and then come back?
You guys have done a wonderful job. I want to thank all the kids for their help today. We're done. I'm going to smooth this out. Thank you so much. We're going to smooth this out, and we're going to get buffet set up. And Pastor Bob, if you want to come and do the blessing.
Make an announcement about the kid plates versus the adult plates out there.
Okay, so we do have 2 different kinds of plates tonight. The larger plates are going to be kid plates, which means they've got kid-friendly ingredients in them, i.e. no jalapenos, no onions, no cilantro, and no mint. The adult plates are going to be the smaller plates. Make sure that you get dipping sauce. The dipping sauce that we have out, though, is all the dipping sauce. So they're small ladles. If you don't mind, just sort of start small, and you can add more And so there's salad and the spring rolls back there, and then we will put these cookie bars out for dessert. But basically, same sort of process. You're gonna slop this on top, which is also a very technical cooking term, okay? It makes people really want to eat it. And then you're going to smooth it out. And then this goes back in the freezer. You can go overnight. They freeze very well. And if you choose to, or when you, I guess, choose to eat them, pull them out about an hour ahead of time so that it thaws enough that you can cut them. Sorry, I'm a little frazzled after cooking with kids. Does anyone else experience that? Just me. Yeah, we call it Chaos Kitchen. I really think that the next reality show, if they were to do something like that, should be like Cooking with Toddlers. And it's like a 5-star chef, and they have to cook with all the problems that the mom does. Like you're making a 4-course meal, and you got kids running over you, and you're stepping on toys, and then they're crying, and then it's 6 o'clock meltdown. Like that would be a real reality show. And then the dog, and then someone has like some sort of like colossal episode of like, yeah. So that's my cooking plug for, the big networks that are watching us here today. Okay, so this gets beautifully spread out, and then it says that what you can do is you can sprinkle it with some sea salt. So one of my very favorite things is flake salt because I think it's pretty. And so then I'm just going to sprinkle some flake salt on that, and we are going to show the camera. And that's going to go in the freezer, and then when it comes out tomorrow, we will enjoy it immensely. And hopefully for the next few days, although I'll be honest, this is one of my go-tos when mommy's feeling stressed. I may or may not hide it from the children. So, Pastor Bob, we're ready for you.
Okay, let's bow our heads, please. Dear Lord, we thank you for this wonderful adventure in cooking and tasting, and for all the variety of flavors that you've created. And I pray that you bless the hands that prepared it, both the big hands and the little hands, and bless our time together. Thank you. We ask it in Jesus' name. Amen.
And if you have questions, please.
I have a question. I think you need to wrap that dessert to turn freezer off.
Yeah. We need a what?
For those of you who are online, we tried to record the second half of the presentation ahead of time, but we were having some technical issues. So we will be back in just a moment with the second half of the presentation. If you want to just hold on with us, we're going to allow the people who are here to get through the line. And then as soon as they sit back down, I will be back up to share the second half. Thank you so much.
Yes, so the big plates are the kids' plates, the little plates are the adult plates. Obviously, if you're an adult that doesn't like jalapenos, please feel free to eat the little kid plates, but we were just sort of...
Kids ran up. No, they're
What you looking for?
All right, I think most everybody has gotten through the line, so we're going to go ahead and get started with the second half of our presentation. You know, each week we have been sharing with you some delicious recipes out there. How are y'all enjoying that beet salad? Is it going over pretty good? It's a favorite of ours. But along with the recipes, we've also been going over some other health tips that you can incorporate into your daily life to kind of help you to have a healthier life. And what we have been looking at is this acronym called New Start. And so for the first week, we looked at the N, which is nutrition, and how it is really important to move more towards a whole food, plant-based diet and kind of get the processed foods out of your diet, because we know that the processed food is going to be high in salt, high in sugar, high in fat. All these things, they're not that good for us, so we want to move towards a whole food, plant-based diet. The second class, we looked at exercise, E for exercise. And, you know, and if you can get out there and do that strenuous exercise of the walking and the hiking and the biking, that's great. We want to try to get towards that if we can. However, the main goal is to add more movement into your day-to-day life. I went to a wellness camp a couple years ago, and we were there for 2 weeks. And we had a lot of people that came out, all walks of life, had many different health conditions. And so they had to, or they showed us ways to incorporate exercise in, even if you're not able to get up and walk. And so one of the things that they did was, before every meal, they had us walk a lap around the dining room. And at the beginning, we had people who couldn't even make one whole lap around the dining room. But at the end of the 2 weeks, these people were making several laps around the dining room. So every day, if you add in just a couple extra steps, you are greatly improving your outcome. So it doesn't have to be difficult, strenuous exercise. Just getting up and moving is really important. At our last class, we looked at water and the importance of incorporating water in our diet and how most of us do not drink enough water. I mean, I definitely fell into that category years ago, and then when I was really learning the principle of drinking water, now I have my water bottle that I carry everywhere, and I can't imagine not having a water bottle with me. And the principles that we looked at was starting your day with lukewarm water. You don't want really cold water. You don't want really hot water because it just shocks your stomach. And you want to drink 2 glasses of water when you first wake up. And that helps get your digestion going. You could squirt in some fresh lemon juice in there. That'll help it if you kind of don't like the taste of water. You know, you can add some fruit to it, and that'll help with the flavoring. However, I will say, I did want to bring out, if you're a person that really can't stand the taste of water, it could be that you're just drinking the wrong water. Most of the water you get out of your tap, that's your city water, your county water, it's nasty. I can't, it's awful. Your bottled water is the same thing. Most bottled water that you buy out of the store also does not taste any good. However, there is one bottled water that I have found to be the best flavor, and it doesn't matter the brand. What you're looking for is alkaline water, and that tends to have the best flavor of all the bottled water that I have tried. And again, it's not a specific brand, it's just alkaline water. So this evening, we want to continue on with the New Start journey and look at the importance of sunlight. Now, how many of you have heard that we got to be careful with sunlight, right? You know, because if we get out into the sunlight, then we're risking getting what? Melanoma, skin cancer, right? So we've heard that. So what we have to do, because there is some important health benefits for going out into the sun. And when I was asked to do the presentation on sunlight, I thought it was kind of interesting. This is our 4th class. And what did God create on the fourth day of creation? Sun, moon, and stars. And you know, he didn't just create it just to be there. I mean, he looked at it and he said, and it says, and God saw that it was good. Sunlight is good for us. God created sunlight for our benefit. So we want to take a look at what are the benefits of sunlight. The first way that sunlight helps us is it increases our immunity. When we go out into the sun, the white blood cells are increased as well as antibodies. These are things that helps to reduce the chance of getting colds and flus and, well, everything that's been happening past couple of years. And what they have shown is that just 10 minutes, even just 10 minutes of sun twice a week can greatly reduce the incidence of colds. That seems doable, right? 10 minutes. But that's not all. Sunlight also helps to strengthen our bones. You know, we've known for a while that, you know, to help prevent rickets, it's important to get out into the sun. Did you know that it could also reverse osteoporosis? It could prevent and even reverse. What about going to the dentist? How many of y'all like going to the dentist? A hand almost came up, and then when she realized what I asked, she took that hand right back down. Yeah. Getting out in the sun can also lower the incidence of dental cavities. Well, that seems kind of strange. I wonder why that is. I'll tell you in a moment. The other thing that I think that most of us are aware of is that getting out in the sunlight helps to improve our mood. And I mean, when we are, you know, watching TV and there's a commercial that comes on, it's talking about depression, and they show somebody who's, you know, suffering from depression. Usually they're in a room and the curtains are drawn, it's rainy outside, and they've got the blankets all around them, and it just looks so sad and gloomy. And then this person, they take the pill, you know, it's supposed to help with the depression, and all of a sudden, what? The sun comes out. And it's just a grand, glorious day. See, even the drug companies know the importance of sunlight because they put it in their advertisement. We know that sunlight helps us to produce melatonin, which helps us to sleep better at night. And if we can sleep better at night, then we're going to feel happier overall. It also increases the production of serotonin, which again helps with our mood. You know, it helps us to feel happier. So, here's some information. Sunlight provides 90 to 95% of vitamin D for most people. And yet, more than 90% of Americans are vitamin D deficient. So what's that saying? We're not getting out into the sunlight enough because we're not making that vitamin D. Now, I do have to point out the term vitamin is a misnomer. Vitamin D is not a vitamin, it's a hormone. And it's a hormone that our bodies produce when our skin is exposed to sunlight. So I wanted to pull up some science articles. You know, is that what you hear all the time? What does the science say? So I wanted to actually go to the research and pull up some articles. And this article here says that insufficient sun exposure has become a real public health problem. What the researchers did was that they scoured over a decade's worth of research, and they found that it indicates that insufficient sun exposure may be responsible for 340,000 deaths in the U.S. per year. Wait a minute, well, why is that? How is that possible? Well, what they saw was that there was an increased risk increased incidence of breast cancer, of colorectal cancer, of high blood pressure, and a lot of other diseases. And they were looking at, well, why is it that there's such an increase? And they zoned in on vitamin D. Because most of the people in this category that were dying of these diseases, the common thing was low vitamin D levels. Well, okay, so they looked at it and they said, well, if it's just low vitamin D levels, we could take a supplement, right? We could take that pill and we can boost our vitamin D levels. That will cure it, right? And they said, no, that's not what the research is showing. Now, I'm not saying don't take vitamin D supplements. I do take it. But there's more at play than just vitamin D. What they realized was that along with vitamin D, our bodies were producing nitric oxide. Have y'all heard that? That's great for our heart because nitric oxide lowers our blood pressure. It increases the arterial function. It does wonderful things. So it wasn't just the vitamin D that we're missing out when we stay out of the sun. There's just another article that I found, an unexpected role. UVA-induced release of nitric oxide from skin may have unexpected health benefits. So they were looking again at the importance of getting out into the sun and how it helps us to produce nitric oxide. But it's not just nitric oxide. There's something else that our bodies produce, and that is CoQ10. How many of you heard of that? That's also really good for our heart health. It helps in lowering our blood pressure. And the way that our bodies create that is that the UV rays penetrates our skin to activate a chlorophyll byproduct that's in our bloodstream, and it produces CoQ10. So David, my husband, he was like, what in the world is a chlorophyll byproduct, and how does it get into your bloodstream? You get it into your bloodstream by eating green leafy green vegetables, and your beets. So guess why I had us do a beet salad tonight. You've eaten your beet salad, so tomorrow, hopefully it'll be a sunny day, go out into the sun tomorrow and make some CoQ10. So, another article that I pulled up says whole body UVA irradiation, and UVA is just UV radiation. You got UVA and UVB. It's just a different rays, and so it's just part of sunlight, and it lowers systemic blood pressure. So again, this is just more research that shows that getting out into the sunlight will lower your blood pressure. Will produce that nitric oxide. So I pulled up this graph here, and this comes from a website called nutritionfacts.org. This is a website that is by Dr. Michael Greger, and what he has done is he reads all this research that comes out every day. He goes through and he reads it, and then he compiles it and makes it so we can understand what the research is saying. And so you can search just about anything on his website. So in this graph that I really wanted to point out, I have to walk over here. Probably going to get off screen here for a moment, but that's okay because they're watching that way. So there's a participant that I wanted to point out. They measured their blood pressure before they went out into the sunlight. And so this particular person, their systolic blood pressure was 155. Then they exposed them to just 15 minutes of sunlight, and they continued to measure their blood pressure. At 30 minutes, this person's blood pressure was, the top number, was 140, a 15-point drop after just 15 minutes of sun. And, I mean, it's just, that's a significant drop, especially if you're having an episode of high blood pressure. Getting out into the sunlight for just 15 minutes will drop it. Now, it's not lasting. It does tend to creep back up over the 3-hour period. But if you're trying to find a quick way to lower your blood pressure, get out into the sun. And along with measuring the blood pressure, over on the far left, they were measuring the nitric oxide coming off the skin. And if you'll notice, at the 30-minute mark, that's the peak of production from nitric oxide. So they were able to show a close correlation from the nitric oxide and your blood pressure. This is another research that showed that the importance of eating your leafy green vegetables. And it's because of eating the leafy green vegetables and then going out into the sun that gives us the best results for the nitric oxide and the blood pressure. Here's another article, and it was the same thing. It is well known that vegetarians are at a reduced risk of developing hypertension and other cardiovascular diseases. And it's been speculated that it's because of the high nitrite content in vegetables that contribute to this effect. So, after hearing all the wonderful benefits, the vitamin D, the nitric oxide, the CoQ10, the question is, well, how much is enough? Because we don't want to go too far the other direction and get skin cancer. The recommendation is 30 minutes a day, 3 times a week. And if you have a darker complexion, you may need more time. Conversely, if you have fair skin and tend to burn, you want to ease into that. You want to start with 5 minutes a day and gradually increase it over several weeks till you hit that 30-minute mark, because you want to avoid the sunburn. So start off with a short amount of time and increase it over several weeks. And then also, just thinking about sunburn, if you're going to be out in the sun for a longer period of time, go ahead and put that hat on. Go ahead and put the long sleeves on. You can use sunscreen, but I do want to stress that once you put the sunscreen on, that stops all production of vitamin D and nitric oxide, because sunscreen, the whole purpose is to keep the rays from penetrating into your skin. So you want to get the sunlight first and then put your sunscreen on after that 30-minute mark. So, again, too much of a good thing. Moderation is important for sunlight. We want to avoid getting sunburns, because every time we have a sunburn, we're increasing our risk for skin cancer. And we do know that up to 2,000 people, Americans per year, lose their lives to skin cancer. So we want to try to not go down that direction, but we don't want to go so far that we are avoiding sunlight altogether, because we also know that getting out into the sunlight could prevent 138,000 deaths from all the other types of cancers. So, the point for tonight is eat your beets and greens, get some sun, and avoid the sunburn. So, thank you all again for coming out. If you have any questions, I'll try my best to answer it. I don't have all the answers. I'm just sharing with you the research that I have found throughout the years for my own personal health. So, but anyways, our next class is in 2 weeks on March 13th at 5 p.m. So, any questions? Yep, 2 weeks. And do I dare share with you the menu? Do y'all want to know the menu? Okay. So the next menu is more for like the summertime. I don't think that was me. For summer, maybe it's me. For summertime, cooking out, and all that. You get together. You want to have those nice, what do we normally eat when we cook out? Hot dogs and hamburgers. So I will be demonstrating how to make a healthier hot dog. Now, they have vegan and vegetarian versions of hot dogs, but those aren't healthy for you. I hate to break it to you. They're highly processed, mostly gluten and lots of sodium. So the recipe I will be sharing with you is with a carrot, and how you can make a carrot. It's delicious. But I also have a really good veggie burger, and made with beans and beets. Show back up again. So we'll be sharing with you some of those recipes next cooking class. So, any other questions? All right. Well, thank y'all again for coming out.